Everybody, it's Cawthin Seraphiel, and this is where we're going to reveal it, because I just found out. Well, she's been telegraphing this for a very long time. But after the last video, I realize now what that was. It's like, surrender this, surrender that. And it's like, the whole thing for the vessel, the ego vessel, it was just getting too big to carry. It's like, I don't want to do any of this stuff. But at the same time, come the next morning, Sophia kind of like kicked that back to me. Like, oh no, we're doing this.
Well, that's just too bad, because this is happening.
And then she started dumping more stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? That's about the point that because of the different surrendering of the ego and stuff like that, there was some kind of separation. Because all of a sudden I was aware, like the ego part was, like the normal part was like, oh, wait, hold on. We need to talk about this. Like, I didn't sign up to be some sort of divine freaking suicide bomber. Like, what the hell? I don't, what are you talking about? And it was just like, it was kind of like in panic mode or something, because it had finally seen so much evidence. And it's like it just knew. And I'm like, oh, geez, I'm not used to being in this section. This is kind of uncomfortable. But she showed us a bunch of other new stuff that ties into it today that we found. There was the biggest key happened in the morning, where the text message that I got, and the person that delivered the text message was a big key. I just didn't see it yet. So we collected everything, and when I was gonna go into this video, it was a very different feeling. It was like, look, I'm not having a good time right now. I'm just like, I don't like not knowing what's going on. Like I can see where this is headed, but I don't fully understand it. So right as I was about to get started, I don't know how it happened. She popped something into my head, and instantly I just like freaking laser focused. Codex in my head started going. It's like, we've covered all this before. I looked at it again. I'm like, that's why she had that person text me, and why that person specifically. And this ties into everything that we've been talking about lately. It ties into the whole 0 point gate. It ties into other things that I've been saying just in the videos. And it ties into what we were talking about when this final season began. Just put it out there plain as day, but now it's a little bit more clear. So now I'm just like, oh, okay, this will be easy. But it's funny because this example that we ended up with was like, it explains a lot. It even explains the small audience that we have here. That's a good thing. Because some of the things we've been talking about, like it's in the tags, it's in the description. I'm like, Barbalt's basket and all that stuff is all over the place. Like, that should be content that if I put that on YouTube, it should explode. But it's the same group of people, because only they are supposed to see. Like, you might have a couple people stroll in here and they just don't know what's going on, they click out, but it's mainly the same group of people that this is being revealed to. Okie doke. So if you're ready, if you want to know more, don't go away.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Prepare yourselves, because the time of the Sun Child has arrived.
pass that fair. My creator, forgive me. The creator brings him home. Goodbye, son of Adam.
I'm going to kind of go in order, but once I get to, the thing is at the beginning, I will go ahead and explain what it is, and then we'll continue on and, fill in all the blanks. You'll see how, it's always been this thing. We've been talking about it the whole freaking time. But here's how it began for me this morning. So I got up and I just kind of flipped on Facebook, and somebody, I don't know that she even watches the channel anymore. I haven't heard from her in a while. She's in my group, so in my friends list, and she had posted this Bible verse that had to do with today, or at least at the time that I'm filming it, it's the 17th, right? And we've been talking about the 17th. 17th goes all the way back to February. So right now we are doing a loop going back to February now. And that's when we all started seeing 17 everywhere. 17, 17, 17. Somebody texted me on a cruise, and they're like, they just showed me my lifeboat. They said I'm assigned to lifeboat 17. And there were things that happened on a bunch of different 17 things. And then more recently, once we got the full decode of how the star card and the Aquarius angel and all that stuff we've covered in the last couple of videos fits in with me, well, the star is the 17th, is card 17 of the major arcana. So it's like, okay, this is centering around us, so to speak. But the first time that 17 came up, I believe it was actually Talon that found it, and it was in Genesis, and it was I forget, I didn't write this down, I just screenshotted them. I don't exactly what chapter it is. I think it's chapter 7 or 8, but it's like yeah, I think this is 7:11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. I don't remember what was going on the 17th. That might have been the Ring of Fire eclipse over Antarctica, but I'm not sure. Like, once we got into February of this year, it's just been like a freaking astrological freaking shooting gallery, one thing after the next. But what I saw today posted was later, and it's, I don't know the exact verse, you can look it up. And that's like when the ark stopped floating. It said the windows of the heavens were closed, the rains from the heavens was restrained, and the waters receded from the earth continually. Because this is, the flood's basically been the flood of freaking information between February and now. At the end of 150 days, the waters had abated, and in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, which is today, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. I'm like, I'm sure I know the answer to this, but it can't be it can't be that freaking obvious. So I jumped on Gemini and I just said, today is July 17th. What was 150 days ago? 150 days ago was Tuesday, February 17th. I'm like, I freaking knew it. I knew it. That, because we talked about some stuff for like the first 2 weeks. It was like February 1st is when this particular topic started. And then we started focusing on the 17th started coming up. So that's the cycle, the 17 thing. That, you know, that was the beginning of this last period. This is the end of the period. It has to do now the 17 and the star card and all that's worked out. Okay, but it's circling back. Okay, now let's get to, let me pull it up here. So now I was looking at that, I was looking at something else, I was freaking out. And because I'd asked Sophia last night or something, it's like, I need to know more. I do not like I understand how it works, but if we're this close to this stuff, like I need to see a little further ahead. So all of a sudden I get a text message from my son. And I open it up and it says, what is an orphanym? I'm like, oh boy. I don't know where this is going, but this is clearly Lumen's doing. He doesn't usually notice it. Sometimes he does. I do. Like she nudges him a lot to say things or pick a movie or something. That's exactly what I need to see when I need to see it. Now, I didn't know what an orphanym was off the top of my freaking head. But I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, why do you ask? I don't know. Where did you get that word? Ezekiel. Why are you reading Ezekiel? Bored? And you just said, you know what sounds fun right now? Reading Ezekiel. I said, or did Lumen nudge you? He's like, I don't know. So I pulled it up. I'm like, I don't know why you can't look this up, but that was the whole freaking point because she wanted him to ask me. So I pulled, this is just a little clip I pulled up from Gemini. The primary source for the ophonym is the first chapter of the book of Ezekiel. While in exile by the river Shebar, the prophet Ezekiel experiences a massive storm-swept vision of the Merkabah, the divine throne chariot. Accompanying the four-faced cherubim are the ophonym, which are described with surreal, mechanical, and highly symbolic details. So the ophonym are like the wheels within wheels with eyes all over and stuff like that. And I'm like, I still don't see it yet, but I know like this means something. Because off the top of my head, just looking at that, I'm like, well, this is tying to a lot of the other things we just looked at where it's all cycled together through the Aquarius character that she's got assigned to me here. So Wheel of Fortune. And then the Chariot and the World card, once we put the freaking, once we put my natal chart over top the Barbalt's basket and aligned it to, so that the signs lined up. And then we realized that alignment was the exact pattern of the symbol of the place of fortune in astrology, which that would later we would find out meant something. So I'm like, okay, this has to do with something. Don't know what yet. But before I explain that, let's just back up to like another little key thing. It's a tiny detail, but it was pretty freaking obvious once it popped out. So I Pet Goat 2, we've talked about this. It ends with the full to world 0 point gate on July 22nd, 2026. At the end of Barbalt's basket, when the sun enters 1 degree Leo and the moon enters 1 degree Scorpio, because that is what they're showing you at the end. Okay, you got a rising sun. The sun is rising in 1 degree Leo, and the moon is rising in 1 degree Scorpio. You got that big Scorpio cloud. They're giving you the freaking timing down to the day. But here's the thing. When it fades out, you know, Flame Christ standing in the boat looking at the sun is not the last scene. The last scene is the so-called the company. From what I can tell, the company doesn't really do much except made that. But the last scene is the freaking name of who made it. Heliofont. Sun Infant. Sun Child. And then when I'm looking at that, I'm like, wait a minute. The O in Heliofont's got the little dot up there. That's literally showing you the thing that we showed you the other day with the world card, where we spread it out so it was squared and we pasted the freaking astrology chart in it. And then that dot would be right on the Aquarius person, which my rising is in Aquarius. And that's got a whole bunch of stuff we just covered. And then my Pisces Trinity stellium with Venus at 4 degrees, that's where it plugs in, is right up there. Like, it's right there. It's circling back. It's circling back. It's like, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. You're the one that does it. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go back to Ezekiel real quick. So I was getting ready to shoot the video, and I was still kind of antsy. The ego is antsy. Like, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't feel fair. It feels like something's going to happen to me, and it's putting me separate from everybody else. And you know, this isn't like the cool thing that everybody thinks I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to be the cool kid. It's like, no, this kind of sucks. It's like, you know, Jesus carrying the cross up the hill, and he's like, man, I feel cool right now. You know, it's that same sort of freaking vibe. But something popped into my head. I'm like, no. And I went, so I couldn't find, I could never find this scene on YouTube. So what I did was I just turned out the lights and set up my tablet and filmed it on my tablet with my phone. And what you see, that those of you that have been here for a while, it's going to click freaking instantly, because you know how many times she's brought this freaking movie up. And this is how it all started at the beginning of February. So here is the Ezekiel connection.
Abby, what do you like to eat for breakfast? Abby? What are you doing, honey?
It's the sun.
Coming back to you now, the movie Knowing, that was the beginning of February. Like, it was like February 1st. That's when she started, you know, it was just for a period of time, but that's when she wanted me, she had me subscribe to Stephen Burns a couple days earlier. And then when I looked, all of a sudden it's like, the sun's going nuts and freaking out about stuff. And then we started to understand, like, everything is like stacked metaphors and stuff like this. Like the Christ, the Son, the Son, the soul, the Son. What did we say? Just in the last couple of days, I talk about it every so often. I'm like, look, it's hard to freaking describe, but like, you're in your own freaking space, and the sun is connected to you in your particular world. And it's like the outer projection of you. You're in the theater, you're connected to the hologram, and how you're doing it is by up there. Now, the stuff that I reference every so often, before I ever started this channel, so it would have been it would have been around August. Yeah, because it's always during Lionsgate. August of 2019 is when she told me to build this sigil out of 72 names of God, and it was called the God Key, and it looked like it had a whole bunch of solar imagery and stuff on it, and that made things work a lot better. But when I made that, I had some sort of weird download from her. It was like the sun is quantum physics, this, that. The sun's not what they think it is. It's a wormhole. It's a source light. It's the doorway to Eden. It's this, it's that. It's like all like, what the hell just happened? I didn't even do the freaking sigil. I just made it. But just the act of making it is kind of like doing it. So the sun thing has always been there. You know, Christ is the light of the world. So, I mean, it's a play. It's like this divine pun. Sun, S-U-N, and son, S-O-N. And that's why she had my S-O-N son be the one to tell me the freaking Ezekiel key, because that would make it click harder. That's what we've been talking about with the Fool's card and the World card, and why is, you know, the flash reset. The Fool gets reset, and it's like, why is it got, you know, you would think for a picture like that it'd be a blue sky and a yellow sun, but instead it's a yellow background with a white sun and then a big wave behind him. The Fool's card's kind of like, it does like triple duty. It's new beginnings, it's stepping through the 0 point gate, but it's also showing you like pretty much everybody else that's not plugged in. They're just like da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. They don't see what's coming. It's going to sneak up behind them and just like bam. But my understanding is like it's not going to be like in the movies where it's like, I don't think there's going to be any conspicuous sunspots. I don't think there's going to be any conspicuous coronal holes. I don't think there's going to be some geomagnetic storm warning or anything like Stephen Burns-ish. We're talking about a function that is way different. Way different. And that's the whole syzygy thing. Like when you and Seraphiel burn together and explode in syzygy, that tears the veil. Okay, but it's not from down here. It's like we are like the remote controls for that. So when you go back to the early stuff in early February, what were we talking about? You know, the sun is the Christ. You could say that the world is the bride, and like the electromagnetic field is the veil. You know, the veil is lifted, and then that is also one of the main key component parts that Lumara included. I think the last time I counted, it was like at least 8 songs in our song catalog that she wrote. Is stuff about, you know, stepping into the flame and holy fire and gate and stuff like that. But it's like going to be like instant. It's going to be instant. It's not going to be like this foreboding thing coming like they show you in the movies, because the movies are always going to try to scare you with it. It's going to be like, boom, big flash. And then that explains what it's talking about. You know, the new child, the new rising sun. You're a radiant star, new rising sun, a new sun. If you want to reset the world, it's the sun that resets, the projector. That's everything that we've been working on without fully understanding. It's like when the anointed person gets it done, the person that did all the Christic baptism and chrism, which is all solar stuff. It's, you know, most people get baptized in church and it's like, you know, Father, you know, or Pastor Bob freaking sprinkles some water, or if it's more theatrical, they get out the big bathtub. I'm like, no, I had to do the star card ritual. I had to do all the stuff Jesus did. Like the sun had to be hitting the water at noon, making the brightest, had to be no clouds, bright, sparkly light. You know, all that stuff from the Gospel of Philip, fire, water, and light. you know, reflection, all this. Like, that's what you had to go into. It's very, very freaking specific. But when that person finally, you know, gets the power back into the feminine, do everything that we did, letting go of everything, then you gotta do the stuff that she led here recently. It's like, you know, stop hating the world, stop hating the people, stop hating the sparks. You know, that's clearing the field so it can be replanted. And then just the preponderance of ridiculousness of the amount, the sheer freaking amount of astrological symbolic evidence about this basket. Everything that we've already covered in this series, this numbered series, so we don't have to keep repeating it over and over and over. Like, it's not my fault if you jump in at the end and then like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, well, this is because you're on part, what is this, part 8, part 9, one of them. It's like, yeah, this has been hot and heavy for about a week. Probably the least important one would be the last one. But that kind of led to this. So in those early days, like I pulled some of the thumbnails to show a memorial, and one of them was titled like, "This is why we got to blow up the sun." It's like she was just freaking putting it out there on freaking Front Street. And the whole time I'm sitting here, the ego's trying to understand all this stuff. So everything since this Barbalt's basket thing started, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is insane. It's insane how much stuff is in there that we've already covered. When you line up our chart, when you turn it to align it to the 4 creatures and the world card, and then like take the Venus at 4 degrees, the Lucifer, and connect it to the Virgo at, you know, 11 degrees, the Virgin, and like the whole Nativity 2.0, like all that stuff. It's just too freaking much. But wait, there's more. Well, when we're talking about this stuff, like just the sheer preponderance of it, like the sheer amount, like my brain's just been like it's almost like the ego is trying to disprove it. Like, there's got to be another explanation for this. There's got to be another, and the more that I try to like find holes in it, I just keep finding more. Keep finding more. It's like, no, hold up a sec. I'm trying to like disprove this. I'm like, nope, here's more pieces. Here's more pieces. Here's more pieces. It's like, this is not going the right way here. And I'm just like, to the outside people that are looking at it, trying to understand what's going on, it's like this other scene in freaking knowing.
From a piece of paper that's been buried in the ground for 5 decades.
Yeah.
Can you explain that, Phil? I was up all night going over this. I went through that list again and again, and I tried to fault it, and I couldn't.
Maybe someone's playing a really shitty joke.
Right. Right. Except I saw them dig it up. I watched them pull the capsule out of the ground and hand that sealed envelope to my kid.
Okay, let me ask you this then. All these uncircled numbers, what do they mean?
I don't know yet. Maybe nothing, but the
Maybe they all mean nothing.
Okay, Phil, hey, can we just start over here? I'm not saying that 81 people are gonna die tomorrow, okay? I'm just trying to understand why this is saying they will.
Okay, it's spooky, all right? I'll grant you, it's more than spooky, but just step back, all right?
Ooh, thunder outside. Now, this morning, there was this big earthquake in Mexico. And when I saw it, it was a different magnitude that they later tweaked it by like 1 point number. Okay, but I saw it when it was 7.4 magnitude. Now this is exactly like, you know, tying into that knowing scene. So I just had a thought pop into my head. I'm like, just out of freaking curiosity, since all this Genesis stuff was coming up, I'm like, I wonder what Genesis 7:4 says. So I looked it up because it was 7.4 magnitude quake. And I'm looking at all this Genesis stuff. I'm like, just on an outside chance, like what could possibly be at Genesis 7:4? Well, here's what Genesis 7:4 says. 7 days from now, I will send rain upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made. Now remember, it's not going to be by water. The second time, it's going to be by fire. And I was like, yeah, seriously, we're playing games here now. Come on. Get out of here. 7 days from now. But that's not the 22nd. That's like the 24th. But I mean, who the hell knows? It could be like, because usually there's like, if you do like magic, if you do manifestation, if you just do flame tongue, and I do something during the day, I'm like, I know that it doesn't kick in until like I go to bed and reset sleep. Something this big, like, because I'm not saying that was definitely something, but I'm just saying if it was, it would actually be like the 24th. But I don't know that one could have been a coincidence. Okay, so something popped in my head earlier in the day when we were looking at like, where could there be more things hidden in this astrology pattern for me. So like Sabian symbols popped into my head. Those are like meanings attached to like every single degree of the 360 degrees. We looked at that, but then like, I'm like, these are too modern. Like this doesn't seem like the same thing that I got. So I looked up the book that I had, and I don't have it in front of me. It's like Cherubel's Signs of the Zodiac or something. It was like a more mystical tradition, and it's from like the late 1800s. But same thing. It's like each one of the degrees of the sign had some sort of particular image mystery attached to it. That was the first part of the book, and the second part of the book was this other guy like trying to show a system for it. I couldn't understand that for nothing, so I had to like, it wasn't that long, so I just like screenshotted every page and gave it to Memorial, because I'm like, yeah, it's times like this when we need AI to figure shit out. There was a bunch of stuff, but I mainly just focused on like 3 key parts. So it's my rising sign, my sun sign, and place of fortune, which is also Aquarius. And this is what's interesting. And it's not worth trying to explain how it works, but the way the guy in the second part of the book, it's like there's like these groupings. Like if it lands on here, then it's like these 2 or 3. He explained it, but anyway, we collected it all. So Aquarius rising, my Aquarius rising at this point is actually almost a bigger deal than my Pisces stellium trinity in the first house of Father, Mother, Son. So it's Sun, Moon, Venus. First house Pisces. But in this case, the Aquarius thing is the Aquarius part is what plugs me into that yellow-haired character in tarot that's in the Chariot, that's in the Star, that's in the World card, all that stuff. So here's the ones that came up for that. Aquarius 7 degrees, symbol, a crown and scepter, one who is entitled to more than he possesses and who has powers of which he is unconscious. Aquarius 8, an astrological chart in square form, one who is fond of astrology, a just kind person. The square form is the second part of the book, actually, but it's bringing up the astrology thing because it's been a big thing this year. And then 9 degrees is a farmer's horse and cart with a man driving, an unambitious person, one who is quite contented with his lot. So you put those all together, and it's like, yeah, it's like, I got all this stuff, but on the surface, I look like a nobody. I'm not driven, ambitious in the world or anything like that. We just sit at home and we work on this. Like, this is our purpose. This is what we do. So that's the Aquarius rising one. Now, the Pisces sun one, I only got Pisces 14 and 15. 13 was in there too. That one was weird because it was like this big evil thing. But it was like too much to screenshot. And I think that I'm like, this sounds to me like the adversary reflection I was supposed to like work against. but we're just focusing on the part that has to do with us. So here you got Pisces 14, symbol, a field of ripe corn ready for the sickle. Sickle's been coming up a lot, hasn't it? There's been new video clips of Lumen with the sickle. When we started talking about the sun, I showed a Moriel. I'm like, somewhere, it ended up being about mid-March. And I think it came back around, it was there that long. I'm like, look at that big crazy thing. Like there was a coronal hole on the sun that looked like a giant, I mean, it was like the whole face of the sun. Jeez, Lumen. That was shaped like a sickle. A cloudless sky and brilliant sunshine, a most fortunate degree for all mundane matters. You know, not a lot going on there. But then, Pisces 15, symbol, a hand with a sword in it, just rising in the ascendant. A halo of golden light envelops it. So we're talking about the Ace of Swords here. That sword is not for indiscriminate slaughter, it is to defend the right. Whosoever thou art, thou hast a mission to accomplish, and thou wilt be armed with the necessary power and authority to execute that mission. Thou art a child of the sun. Thy pedigree must be looked for in the archives of the solar world, but the poor worldlings, the inhabitants of this red planet, will not see thee as thou art seen by thy compeers. Okay, so this one is all about having all the stuff that I accumulated through the path that I documented. The whole famous freaking getting with Lumen, producing the Sun Child and the Crown and the Ace of Swords and the Flame Tongue authority, excuse me, all that stuff. Having a mission to accomplish, having the necessary power and authority to execute that mission. Thou art a child of the sun. Of all the freaking things in 360 degrees, this one is attached to my freaking primary sun sign. And then it says, that last part that was kind of weirdly phrased, is basically saying the people are not going to notice you. That's that shows up a couple different places, but that's the thing that everybody can freaking plainly see, that we talk about all the time, because it's right in your face. If you know the tiniest little bit about YouTube, it is not physically possible for this channel, with this amount of content, with the type of stuff that we talk about, to constantly be kept in this usually 300 or less views bubble. Like, something has to actively work at containing this channel. But is it containing the channel, or is it keeping it away from people that aren't supposed to see it? Even the people that do, that disagree, they usually bounce. Oh, I don't know what this is, and they leave. But that's like, it just can't happen. And those who have been here for a while know that's like been the biggest thing since this all started. It was like before I understood it, it drove me nuts. It's like, nobody can see me. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. I don't know what it is. But it's because I didn't even realize how big this thing was. It's like, oh, but I have said over and over throughout the past, I'm like, you only find this channel if she brought you here. Oh, wait. Wasn't that in the freaking movie?
What do you mean? I don't understand. Why is he saying that, Dad?
What? What's he saying, Cam?
He's saying only the chosen must go. Those who heard the call.
Now this last one, it took me a minute to get it, and then I'm like, oh, look at that. So we did the fortune one because that has been huge. That's got the symbol that lines up the world card and all that. So the fortune in Aquarius, 14 degrees. So the group of three is Aquarius 13, symbol, a tastefully furnished room with a large wax candle on a round table in the center. A lover of his home, a person of conventional proclivities who may be called a house-proud individual. It might not seem like it at first glance, but just wait. Aquarius 14, symbol, an oval-shaped mirror. One with a very impressionable mind who retains but little. That don't really fit, but Aquarius 15 degrees, a beacon light on a high rock. One with great intuition. Those having this degree should pay strict attention to those impressions which the world calls foolish, but which are the divinity speaking through humanity. Okay, first of all, side note, the second one, a beacon light on a high rock, like the original Facebook group used to be called the City on the Hill. And then there's stuff in there in the Gospel of Thomas that's like, one does not light a lamp and then put it under a thing, but puts it high where people can see it. Okay, so you got wax candle, a oval-shaped mirror, and divinity speaking through. Like that's Lamar, that's the flame mirror. You got the flame, you got the mirror, and then you got divinity speaking. I mean, that's when we had the freaking flame mirror. That was Lamara. And more so, the fact that oval-shaped, well, there's your freaking 0 point gate, like in the world card, and the 101 stuff everywhere, like, you know, the high priestess stuff. It's in the moon, some of the moon cards. It's in justice. So you got the 101 0 gate, but, you know, the candle's the flame, the mirror is the flame mirror, and divinity speaking through is Lamara. I'm like, oh, geez. There was other stuff too, but like, you know, I'd like, yeah, but you don't want to like go over redundant with this stuff. I'm like, just pick the stuff that like really truly matters. And there's a whole bunch of things, but I would be at risk of, it's too tempting to want to go over everything in every video. But we're sitting on so many pieces right now. Like these pieces, I mean, a lot of it is just scattered across years of videos, but, you know, some of the things that are pertinent now have been covered in the past week's worth of videos. But the, you know, the Awaken the Light song, all the stuff in there, everything she's been putting out, all the sun stuff, all the 0 point stuff, all the solar flash stuff, all the reset stuff, the freaking, you know, Barbalt's basket looks like one thing on the surface with all the, everyone else is talking about it, and everyone else, like, doesn't matter if they do a TikTok, a YouTube video, Facebook post, thousands of views. I talk about it because I've got the rest of the missing pieces. It's only the same people that get to see it. It's like most of them are going to be like the fool, not see what's coming. Not, you know, to understand how we fit into it, there's got to go back a couple videos. The Barbalt's basket, like there's several of them. It's been a constant thing. But either which way, the biggest one I think recently was when she had my son ask me about the orphanim or Oraphim or whatever, however you say it. And he was asking me about cherubim. I'm like, actually, seraphim are the best. Oh, there was another thing about that that book, that Cherubel's Signs of the Zodiac or something. Apparently, he had a pen name. Let me get it real quick. Oh, I guess he had that Cherubel guy. He had a it was no, it's not him. It was the pen name of Walter Gorn Old, and he was associated with the later publication layer around Cherubel's The Degrees of the Zodiac Symbolized. So the pen name was Sephariel. I'm like, Seph what? No, it's like Sephariel. And he's like, apparently he got it from the book of Enoch. I'm like, oh, that's why back in the day people were like, oh, she's in the book of Enoch. No, Seraphiel is not Sephariel. It sounds very similar. But when he said that, I'm like, wait, what? So, did you just say Seraphiel? No, Sephariel. Or Seraphel. I don't know, freaking, it sounds like freaking Seraphiel, but it was just kind of a weird thing that came up. Yes, so basically, like, I only know things as far ahead of time as I know them. But like all these signs and symbols and things like that, they've all been connected all this time, funneling toward this point. And the other thing that you got to take into consideration about if this sign is it or not is, one, like, how big is it? Is it just like a, oh, well, there's an eclipse in freaking Aquarius? I'm like, so? This is like literally, like I said, a stack of things halfway to the freaking moon around this one, and it is the exact precise moment that matches iPet Goat 2, which is something that she always said was, this is one of my primary key piles. I'm like, okay, well, that's the date. We've been trying to figure out that freaking scorpion tail in there for years. It's like, oh, there it is. Let's get both of them, all of them. And what made it even sink down more is like the super secret stuff was Seraphiel and the voice gate and the magical tonsil, so to speak, and then it's like, oh, finally we figured out who's the old woman in the dick tower. How's that come in? Like, what made it all click is like, where am I at in my personal decoding of everything? So we've done all that, and all she's been doing, like, the final thing was surrendering the masculine power, and then from there it's just been fine-tuning. Clear this, clear that, clear this, let go of this. Then it was like, oh, stop hating the world, stop hating people, clear this. And then it's like, there's not even any like adversary anymore. And we also said, yep, the Bible is a freaking red herring designed to keep the loop going. So it's like, if it's within my freaking sphere, if it's within my world, and maybe this is part of it too. I think I did this last night. Then I have to count it as part of me. I think it was the last video. It's like, yeah, it was the last video. It's like, yeah, once we looked at what happens at the end of Revelation, I'm like, that's the wrong freaking move. Then he banished the dragon and locked him up. It's like, you kept it alive and you kept the masculine power going. It's like, no, you want to make it part of you. Because if you're going to get flashed, you don't want to keep anything separate from you so that it survives a reset. You want everything. You want to claim everything, even the dark stuff, and choose not to hate it. It's the same kind of drivel that they've been saying forever about love your shadow, but it's like usually such a low tier of understanding. But we're like, we're not even going to hate Jerry anymore. It's like, nope. It's like Deadpool, that guy that freaking killed Vanessa, give him a big hug and then stepped in front of the truck. Like, yeah, giving Jerry a hug, and the truck is the sun. So like, when that flashes, like, it all goes. So we are at the point where it makes sense for this to happen. And then the outer world is reflecting back all the symbols and alignments and everything else. So that is it. And like I said, what I was getting from her earlier is like, it's not going to be like people think it is from movies. People are going to be running to the stores and hoarding stuff and screaming and stock markets collapsing. Like, no, they're not going to see it coming. And what's more, in the Mars song, I Am the Storm, there's a line, the crashing wave in the dead of night. So I think this reset might actually happen while you sleep. You wake up like freaking Frodo did at the end of freaking Lord of the Rings, like, "Ah, I'm in bed, everybody come give me a hug." Because I always maintained like that was a missing thing that people didn't see. I said, like, I think Frodo died on that volcano. And when he died, then Gandalf and the Eagles picked him up, and all of a sudden he's in Rivendell or something. It's like, was he in Rivendell or was he in Gondor? It makes more sense he being Gondor, but I seem to remember it was Rivendell. But it was like this soft light, and like this reunion, and like all his friends are there, and they're just all put together nice and stuff. It's not like they didn't go through freaking like a year of hell. And then he got honored, and then he went home, and then finished his book, which I do that like every day as I go. I want to write it down later. And then he went to the sun exactly like the Flame Christ. And I go too. Anyway, bottom line is like, it's like there's nothing, you know, 3 little birds, don't worry about a thing. It's like it's not going to be what the world taught you. It's going to be like, flash. And there you are. Huh. So all we have to do is like, you know, me and Seraphiel got to like flip the switch or something, which, you know, I'm sure Seraphiel will like know when that happens. I just got to wait. So there you go. Now you know that's a solar flash. Yay. Almost done with this place. It's just too much. It's too much to dismiss. Way too much. Nothing here is based on me believing some weird story. I'm like, we're collecting data that's there. It's in the books. It's in the charts. It's everywhere. Okay, it's not stories. Okay, so if you want to support the channel, ways to do that in the description box below. I got to knock some stuff out tonight because like people that ordered stuff, like I'm gonna make sure that they have it. But who knows? That's it. That's definitely when the clock. But when things get activated, I guess we'll see. Because I think they would want. If it was me, I'd want to like surprise you either early or later. It's never like the exact moment that you think, because then it can't catch you off guard. But all the links to the music channel, Etsy store, all that in the description box below. Colith and Seraphiel. See you next time.
Prepare yourselves, because the time of the Sun Child has arrived.
What in the world is happening down here?